Hello friends, it's Sherry from Turquoise Dreaming. How you doing today? I'm here in my camper. We're on a little weekend beach trip and we're at a KOA campground. I don't believe I've ever been to one before, and it's quite interesting here. They have a lot of things to do for kids and people of all ages. We rode bikes this morning. We already had breakfast. And now while I'm waiting for my son and my daughter-in-law to get around and so we can go out and do something, I'm doing a little crafting. So these are my supplies I brought with me this time. My cutter, I have some Tim Holtz butterflies and paper dolls, my 2 sizes of scissors, an array of glue, some washi and pencils, and a little craft, what is this called? Craft knife, and some scraps from my scrap box. These are magazines that I'm working with. I'm going to make one of those magazine journals like I made about 3 videos ago. So I've got this magazine, and I actually have 2 of those. I have a Women's Day. I have 2 of these Better Homes and Gardens. So, and I brought 2 of all these extras for my daughter-in-law in case she wants to come craft with me. So what I've done is, so far, and I was going to do kind of like a tutorial here, but I have to hold my camera because I didn't bring my tripod. So what I did, or what you do to make one of these journals, is you keep your magazine intact and your spine and everything. And what you want to do to start out is take out half your pages. So I had 148 pages in here. They count fronts and backs when they number the pages in a magazine. And so I took out half the pages, and I ended up, what I kept was 36 pages. So here's all the pages I took out. I'm going to keep these for the moment to see if there's anything I want to fussy cut out of these. I'm going to go through them one more time before I throw them out, because there are a lot of advertisements and like the drug advertisements and things that I really didn't want in my magazine journal. So then what it looks like after you take the pages out, and what you do is go through and rip them out as cleanly as you can right next to the binding in the magazine. So like I'll flip through a little bit so you can see the pages that I kept, and so that you can see how it looks on the spine. And if your pages are coming apart or anything, don't worry about that, because we're going to add washi later to the pages that need it. And you can add washi to every page if you want to, but I'm just adding it to the pages that need it. Like this one will need it because you can see there's some paper left here in between. And then I'll show you the clean type pages. This one's very clean. And some of them just come right out right next, it's like they just come right out right next to where they're glued in or whatever. So this way you can see some of the things I have in here and that I've left. I tried to leave pages that I say maybe I didn't like this page so much or wasn't crazy about it, but this page, this side, I love right here. So you're going to try to keep pages where you love at least one side of the page. So like this one, I don't really care for that, but I thought this was cute with the little goldfish on there and the Ferris wheel. So, and I'll show you a few more pages here so you can get the general idea. It's an easy project, so not a big deal, but see, like this page is pretty clean, but right here I can try to get this out, but there's a little bitty piece left right there. And then some pages it just came right out, and some didn't want to come. They came right out but left behind some of their parts. So you get the idea of where we're at. And I'm going to try to pause this video and then come back to you But if I don't come back to you on this video, I'll do a separate video of the next steps. It just depends on how my camera wants to work for me, or whether it wants to work for me or not. And so I think I showed you all my supplies, except for the must-haves back here. Diet Mountain Dew and Cheez-Its. Gotta have those on your table if you're crafting on vacation. No, just kidding. So here's one that left some residue behind in the crevice here between the pages. So we're going to use washi to, because I actually was reaching in here and have reached in here and kind of pulled out the little pieces. But if you can't get them out, don't worry about it, because we're going to cover that up with washi. And actually the pages themselves cover that up sometimes. So I'm going to do the next step, and that is, since I've taken out my pages and I have 36 left now, I'm going to start folding my pages. So what you want to do now is, say you go to this first page, you're going to fold it in, you're going to put glue on at least one half of the page, maybe the whole page. Get some glue right down next to the spine, and then fold this over nice and neatly right into the spine, so that's like that, right into the spine, so it looks like it was like that originally. And you know, you're going to crease it over here, fold it next to the spine, and then you're going to do that to every page, so that every page will be glued down. This one I'm actually going to see if I can cut it in half, because I already did one that was full size, so I'm going to see if I can cut this one in half, and I'll come back to you if I can, either in this video or the next video, and show you what's next. I'm back with my two halves of my magazine, and it went pretty well. No problem cutting them in half. I started with my cutter, which I showed you right here. This cutter right here is what I used, and cut most of it in half, and then I kind of just you know, it was pretty good, but it needed a little bit more evening out or whatever as far as trimming, making sure it was all nice and smooth. And so I used this craft knife kind of on my, while it was still on my cutter, where you have this straight line to go by right here where you're cutting, and just cut some more and made sure it was all nice and smooth with my craft knife. Then I picked it up and made sure any like rough edges, like here's a couple more that could be cut off, you could see, and I'm using my scissors on that. So I'll use my scissors again, but no problem really. I'll use my scissors a little bit more to even that out. And if you have any type of issue like this, don't worry about it. This like little bit of cutting or ripping here, because this is going to be folded in half. So you're going to first of all sturdy that page up, and then cover up that, you know, it could go either way, that way or this way, whichever way I decide, and which I think, you know, whichever way I decide, or whichever way I think looks best. And of course you can always cover it up with something else, some washi or whatever you're going to put into your journal if there's any kind of issue like that. So I like the sizes. I think these are going to be fun little sizes, and so I'm going to get started on folding over now and gluing down my pages like this, like I said, when you tuck them right into your seam. And I'll come back to you after I have either got a start on that, or I have it done. And again, if I lose you on this video, I'll do a second video as to the process. So see you in a bit. Okay, I'm back to show you where I'm at. I've got a few pages done, and what I'm finding is, so far, here's my little pages on the half magazine little journals. They're coming out super cute. But what I'm finding is, okay, so I was experimenting with, on my last one I used this kind of glue stick, okay, and then I was experimenting with the Jot Dollar Tree glue sticks, and I'm finding, I don't know why, but this is not giving me as smooth of a page as the Elmers, so I'm going to stick with the Elmers. And I only brought 2 of these, so I don't know how far they'll go, but I'm going to stick with the Elmers. It's giving me a nice smooth page like right here. See how nice and smooth that is? Here's one that I did, the rest of these I did with the Jot. I think, let me see. No, I think I did that one with the Elmers. This one I did with the Jot. See how it, I don't know why it wouldn't go down flat for me. And this is my journal, so not a big deal. And, you know, I'm going to be putting other things in here, so, you know, anything that I don't like can be covered up. But also, when you fold the page, another tip is to start pressing down from the fold in. So like you fold it over, say you're doing this one. Okay, so this is the side I don't want. So I'm going to put my glue on there. I get the glue right down, right next to the binding, all around the edges, and, you know, a bit. You don't have to cover it solid over the middle, but some, you know, quite a bit in the middle. And then you fold it over, get your edge right next to the binding, and then when you start pressing down to glue it down, start from the fold in, and that'll give you a smoother surface, because if you start over here, it has a better chance of getting wrinkled. So that's my tip so far. We're getting ready to go out, so I'm going to come back to you with another video on the rest of this magazine journal. See you next time.